This video has three parts. First is case, second rubric hunting, and third the final selection of the remedy. Let's start with part 1, a case of Dr. Jaswant Patil. Sir.
She started the treatment with 104 to 105 fever, not a single crocin I have taken. That is because I told her that homeopathy has a power. Don't give me paracetamol. It is the worst thing to take paracetamol in fever. It is given in allopathic books that fever comes to stimulate your bone marrow to produce more immune cells. It has got bacteriostatic and virostatic activities. And this potential of that fever was known to Dr. Hippocrates. He said, God give me the power to produce fever and I can cure every disease. Every disease I can cure. And today we say, God give me the power to bring down the fever with artificial things. That is wrong, where the patient goes more into the deterioration. Finally, I was out from my fever. It remained to 2.4 for 2 to 3 days, and my CRP increased to 265. Absolutely, a voice couldn't come from my larynx, vocal cord. I was so down, and everybody was afraid. My daughter started crying. Papa, your WBC count is 28,000. Your CRP is 265. Your oxygen has dropped to the 85. What are you doing? I am taking you to the ICU. I say, please don't take me to ICU because I have worked for 5 years in ICU. I know what will happen there. Finally, I will be on the ventilator and I will not come back. So even if I have to die, let me die by homeopathy because I am sure I am not going to die. And there she started giving me medications, pyrogenium, baptisia. Finally, stramonium 200 brought my fever down to 199. It was only on one rubric. After I regained my senses, I said, give me stramonium 200. Only on one rubric, only one medicine is there. But septic fever, delirium, stramonium brought me back. And today I am here with you. And that too, with that, I had 4 patches of pneumonia and rising cholestatic jaundice. Bilirubin was from 1 to 4.8 in 4 days' time. And my x-rays I have taken serially every day. Every day we used to do blood investigation, hemoglobin falling, and at the end of 7th day, all parameters came to normal, and x-ray shows 80% regression. At the end of 15 days, it was 100% regression. That is the power of homeopathy.
Part 2, rubric hunting in these type of emergency cases.
Now let's start its rubric hunting. I have opened the chapter Emergency Medicine. Now I am going for the rubric Sensorium Altered. You can see here the rubric Sensorium Altered, in bracket alcoholic delirium encephalopathy. Now I am going for the sub-rubric delirium and looking for the upper sub-rubric fever in stramonium single medicine. You can see here. Let's cross-check it in the fever section. Now I have opened the chapter clinical, the last chapter, and I am going for the rubric fever. You can see here the fever rubric, and now I am looking for the sub rubric delirium. You can see here agaricus and stramonium, 2 medicine under the sub rubric delirium. Let's cross check it from its source book, that how stramonium is the final selection of the remedy from 2 remedies, agaricus and stramonium. So let's see it from its source book, revised and upgraded edition of Allen Keynote. Now I have opened the remedy agaricus muscarius at first. You can see here that 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 para in the original format of Allen Keynote. Delirium with constant raving tries to get out of bed in typhoid or typhus. Here it's clearly mentioned that the case of delirium occurs in the typhoid or typhus diagnosis with these symptoms like with constant raving and tries to get out of bed. Now let's check the another remedy. Stramonium chapter. You can see the first paragraph. It has been written as adapted to ailments of young plethoric persons,
especially children in Korea.
mania, and fever delirium. So you can see here the most important part are written in the first paragraph, and this is the beauty of the reading the original format of Allen Keynote.
After repertorization, how we select the final remedy? We have two reasons for the selection of the remedy stramonium. First, the importance of the symptoms and their placement in both medicines. Like one has written in the fourth paragraph in agaricus and another has written in the first paragraph in stramonium. On priority basis due to clinical verification and appearance during drug proving or clinical trial. And second, in stramonium, fever delirium word is clearly mentioned, but in agaricus, fever word has not been mentioned. But the condition or diagnosis related to the fever have been used with their two characteristic symptoms. That's why always it has been said that after repertorization, the final selection of the remedy must be based on the textbook of Materia Medica, because you will never understand the finer difference with other remedies. If you only memorize Materia Medica or blindly repertorize any repertory without clinical skill, which works like a beacon in darkness of unclear diagnosis. For example, the delirium condition, if occurred during fever, it means the case has been shifted towards the emergency condition and patient need to refer in ICU. That's why this single remedy with their rubric and sub-rubric is mentioned under the chapter Emergency Medicine in Keynotes Modern and Classic Repertory. And this type of finer work based on the original methodology of Organon of Medicine, concept of modern medical science, and the original textbook of Materia Medica Allen Keynote in the original format is not available in any other old repertories. That's why it is modern and classic. The future of homeopathy in super specialization with emergency medicine for treatment in ICU, surgery, labor and trauma center in future. And this is the first and only Indian repertory made in India which has its own source book. In original format, the textbook of Materia Medica in revised and updated edition with 15 new updates, the Allen Keynote. Only authentic content, no adulteration.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon button.